With the advent of AI-generated content in recent years, it feels like the dead internet theory has come true. If you spend any amount of time on the internet, you'll likely see a flood of AI-generated content, making it ever more difficult to find genuine interaction. The angst that many people feel about this technology is existential, and many people are skeptical of claims that AI solves every problem in the world. Over 20 years later, I believe we could see a return of Hashcash-like systems as a way to basically save the internet from AI. In August of 2002, Adam Back published a white paper on Hashcash, a mechanism he initially designed to prevent email spam and denial of service attacks. Adam Back is a British computer scientist who has a PhD in distributed systems and is the current CEO of Blockstream. When Satoshi Nakamoto released the Bitcoin white paper in 2008, he cited Adam Back's Hashcash as inspiration for the Bitcoin mining process. According to the Genesis book, to generate Hashcash, a user had to generate a hash out of an email's metadata, and a valid hash had to start with a predetermined number of zeros. Generating Hashcash was simple trial and error. The more leading zeros required of a hash, the more difficult it'd be to find a valid hash. Let me elaborate. A hash function is a function that takes in an input and produces a deterministic output that appears random. Here's a hypothetical use of Hashcash. In order to make a post on social media, your computer needs to internally find a number that, when combined with your message, produces a hash that starts with 20 zeros. Let's extrapolate this to show how the system deters spammers. Let's say a spammer can do 10 million hashes per second. If a spammer can do 10 million hashes per second, then it would take roughly 1/10 of a second to make a post. If the spammer were looking to make a million posts, however, it would take them over 29 hours or over a day to do so. The wasted time and electricity costs associated with such an attack would likely make it cost ineffective, and even if it did become cost effective, then the required number of leading zeros in a hash could just be increased to make it cost ineffective again. In saying all of this, however, it's important that I underscore the threat of ASICs to a modern Hashcash system. ASIC stands for Application Specific Integrated Circuit, and it's a type of computer chip that is specifically designed to perform a particular set of tasks. Today, ASIC miners have flooded Bitcoin mining, and they compute hundreds of trillions of hashes per second, so they would almost certainly destroy a Hashcash system that is not ASIC resistant. Many cryptocurrencies remain ASIC resistant by using memory hard hash algorithms. The more memory that is required of a hash function, the more expensive it is to make a specialized ASIC for it. However, this also has downstream effects on ordinary users who prefer for their daily applications to be as lightweight as possible. While I believe that Hashcash or a system like it could slow down the flood of AI-generated spam, I believe it is far from a silver bullet. If it succeeded in raising the bar for attackers, then it would almost certainly slow down the user experience for ordinary people, which is the demographic that it seeks to help. If I'm being honest, I think that the internet has already slipped away from humans. Systems like Grok Imagine are already producing over 40 million images a day, and even if this system were shut down, another system just like it would come out of another AI lab. I think the best solution to regaining control is honestly the most simple one, and it's for most people to decrease their use of the internet.